Resident Evil, Heaven and Earth. The omnipotent hero Alice has traveled to a world filled with monsters. Can she kill them with ease? This is a film released in 2020, an epic monster fighting movie. There are a lot of epic beasts living in another world, such as a giant beast with destructive power, a fire-breathing dragon that can breathe flames, brutal and ugly spider. There are also cats that can cook and understand people. Captain Alice, playing as Natalie Artemis, were driving in the desert with a group of special forces. They were also looking for the missing team at this point. Team B has lost contact here. Even armored vehicle weighing several tons has vanished like ashes. This is really unbelievable. Just when everyone were doubting, a storm suddenly hit ahead. A terrifying sandstorm covered the sky. Natalie immediately ordered a full retreat, but it wouldn't take long for. The sandstorm far exceeded the speed of the armored vehicle. It quickly devoured a group of people. Weird lightning stroke in a storm, coming with ear-piercing roar. Mysterious lines light up on the stone tablets on the ground. After a dizzying shake, everyone came to a large desert. In the distance, there were hills surrounded by storm clouds. Soon, everyone also discovered the remain of the missing vehicle. Team B members and their vehicle, as if they were roasted by high temperature. Even the sand under their feet, all were melted into crystals by the high temperature. Looked like Team B encountered something terrible. Everyone had to move on. But not for long. They stopped again, because the scene in front of them was too subversive to their understanding. A huge skeleton lay on the ground, just like Godzilla. On a hill not far away, there was a pair of eyes watching them all the time. It is Tony J.A., the hunter from this different world. Suddenly, they felt something. There was an unknown object coming from behind, aggressively. It must be a terrifying creature. Captain Artemis immediately ordered a retreat, and while retreating, she fired machine gun at the monster. The monster kept chasing after them. The bullet didn't seem to hurt it at all. Soon the monster caught up. It caused an impact from underground, knocking the armored vehicle away. The beast finally appeared. It looked like a giant triceratops and dragon combined. From the ferocious look, it has prepared to attack. The beast then launched a crazy butt on survivors. The team members launched a fierce attack on them. Even rocket launchers were used, but it still could not deal any damage to the monster. It seemed that all the skill points of the beast put to defense. Suddenly, a teammate was stabbed to the heart by its horn. Before dying, he threw all his grenades to the dragon. Not only did he not be eliminated this time, instead, it completely angered them all. It turned around and rushed towards Natalie's group of people. They were shooting and retreating toward the hill. Tony J.A., who has been observing, also took action. He fired an explosive arrow, directly hitting the beast. Natalie's team took the opportunity to hide in a cave. Due to the huge size of the beast, it could not enter the cave. Finally, it gave up and dived under the sand. Everyone thought they were safe. However, there were even more terrifying monsters at night. The night has fallen. A group of people were discussing what happened today. Suddenly, sharp claws attacked Natalie. There were so many spider-like monsters appearing around. Everyone fired and resisted. Teammates managed to rescue Natalie, but more shadow spiders gathered around. Everyone had no choice but to abandon Natalie and retreat while fighting. Tony J.A. was also on the hill helping them draw firepower. There were too many shadow spiders in the dark night. Everyone's life or death is uncertain. A memory flashback to Natalie. She woke up, but found herself in the cocoon of an insect. Finally broke free. There were corpses of teammates hanging all around. There were corpses everywhere. Looked all around. She was trapped in spider lair. Natalie tried to get out of here as soon as possible. She collected some supplies from teammates' backpacks, looked for an exit without direction. She got to lit a signal button. She bumped into the sober team in the dark, but the red fire attracted the shadow spider. Just when the two of them were confronting the spiders, the wound on her teammates suddenly exploded. Countless little spiders sprang out. It seems they were used as a container for growing little spiders. Natalie then took out the oxygen bottle and sprayed it hard on the spider. But this little flame did not cause any real damage to the spider. On the contrary, it angered the beast even more. Natalie saw no effect, quickly ran towards the bright light ahead. Just as she was about to escape the cave, a shadow spider clamped down on her leg, dragging her back inside. The desire to survive gave her strength. She kicked the spider with all the strength. Then she took out another round of bullets from her pocket, threw it towards the monster. Those bullets began to shoot randomly under the heat of the flames. Natalie finally broke free, used up all the strength to escape from the cave, returned to the ground. Alice took off her clothes, checking her body frantically. She was afraid that she would be like her teammate, parasitized by spider eggs. Fortunately, there are no obvious wounds on the body. Suddenly, there was a sound from behind, scaring her to death. She wanted to escape, but found that her foot was injured. The shadow spider at the entrance of the cave did not dare to step forward. It turned out they were afraid of the sun. Natalie has successfully escaped from their lairs. What needed to be done now is taking care of the wound on her foot quickly. She took out a bullet, then cut off the head with a dagger, and withdrew the gunpowder inside. Poured gunpowder onto the wound little by little. Set herself on fire with flint and steel. The severe pain almost made her faint. After taking care of her wound, Alice climbed up the hill and looked at the storm in the distance. She must feel a little desperate inside. A full team of elites accompanied her. Now no one left. At present, she also got to find the dragon under the sand. Natalie picked up a stone, then threw it towards the desert below. As a result, it rose from the ground. Clearly this beast has been lurking nearby all the time. Didn't find anything so far. The dragon angrily crawled back into the sand. It seems she can't move forward in the desert. Alice had no choice but to move on. Found another way out. Natalie was so thirsty that fortunately she found a waterhole. She just wanted to lie down and have a drink. The pungent smell of the pool made Natalie retch. Maybe the pool was the waste of the dragon. After that, she found the wreckage of a ship among the rocks. So she entered a ship to find some fresh water. Suddenly, Tony J.A. appeared from behind, choked Natalie's neck with a dagger. She had to put down her weapon temporarily, right when Tony thought she's given up. Natalie turned around and started beating him. There was a stress fight between them, regardless of top or bottom. But soon, Natalie was knocked down by Tony. Her hands were also tied up. Tony took Natalie forward. During this period, Natalie wanted to communicate with him, but they spoke different languages. It's getting dark. Afraid of a spider coming out of its hole, Tony brought Natalie to his home, a large cave. Late at night, while Tony was asleep, Natalie managed to free up herself and tied up Tony. The two provoked each other. The fight started again. This time, they fought from inside to outside the cave. The two fell down on a hillside. Both fell down. Tony was unlucky that he fell into a shadow spider's lair. The noise awaked some subway monsters. In an instant, a large number of spiders swarmed towards Tony. Seeing that Tony was about to become a meal for them, Natalie pulled him up at the critical moment and took the initiative to show friendliness and said that she hadn't want to hurt Tony. She took out modern food chocolate to bribe him. Tony seemed to understand, so he shared some water. The two of them also settled their differences, shook hands and made peace. Natalie said she wanted to reach the center of the front storm, but there was that beast blocking the way. She hoped Tony could help. Tony expressed his determination to defeat the dragon, but they needed a powerful enough weapon to kill it, the Black Diablos. So he took Natalie to the hidden spider's lair. They must communicate by emotional expression. Natalie probably understood a few. The hidden spider's fangs could secrete venom with paralyzing effect. It increased their chances of defeating the beast. How could they earn the weapon? Tony had an idea and looked at Natalie with a smirk on his face. At night, Natalie stood in front of the shadow spider's lair. It seems she was a prey. A hungry shadow spider took the lead. Natalie lured the spider all the way to the trap they've set. Tony, holding a dragon-slaying sword, jumped down from the air, instantly splitted the spider head into two halves, then cut off the spider fangs with his sword. They've got the fangs. Tony quickly created a poisonous bow and arrow. The two used the wreckage of the ship to create a simple catapult. In spare time, Tony also taught Natalie a set sword skills. After everything was ready, the two started taking action. They used the catapult to drop a log into the sand. It soon attracted the attention of the dragon. The two of them ran desperately towards the armored vehicle, because there were weapons there. Suddenly, there was no movement under their feet. This time, Tony took off his armor and used as a lure. They ran in different directions, but soon he was knocked down by the Black Diablos. Although he was lying on the ground, he found the right moment, picked up the bow and arrow with poison. He shot directly to an eye of the beast. The beast fell down immediately. After the dragon was in pain, it tried to swing its tail at him. Tony could dodge all thanks to his great dexterity. Natalie had her Gatling and shot wildly at the monster. This was when spider venom began to take effect. The dragon consciousness gradually blurred. It started to lose balance. Natalie wanted to finish it, picked up the rocket launcher and shot. Bang! There was smoke everywhere. In the smoke, the dragon suddenly exerts its strength. It tried to put the vehicle, put Natalie on top of the car. At crucial moment, Tony jumped on the head of the dragon. His dragon-slaying sword thrust straight into its brain. The painful beast threw Tony dozens of meters far away. Natalie catched the right moment, shot the bog rope at the dragon. Using the pull of the swamp rope, She successfully jumped onto the head of the beast. Natalie tried her best. Insert all the dragon-slaying knives into the dragon brain. This was its final effort. This black Diablos breathed its last breath. After finishing the dragon, Alice dragged unconscious Tony and kept heading towards the storm. Natalie didn't know how long they'd been going. The two saw an oasis. There were auspicious clouds and herbivores live here. Natalie intended to replenish her water too. Suddenly, a lizard-like flying dragon swooped over. Fortunately, Tony quickly cut off his head with his sword. Today's dinner was finished, but the oasis was not safe at night. A huge shadow appeared on the sky. The two of them looked at the distance not far away. There was unusual movement in the woods ahead. Suddenly, a fire spread quickly. Then a group of frightened shield dinosaurs ran out of the jungle. They were about to be trampled to pieces. At this time, a big strange man dropped from the sky. One move of blazing sword dispersed all the enemies. Natalie thanked him. The Admiral responded in English. Before she could stay calm, she was punched and knocked unconscious by the Admiral. Woke up again. Natalie was jailed on their ship. Made sure Natalie was not a threat. She was released. The Admiral told Alice. Tony came from a team of hunters, commonly known as Monster Hunter. The reason why I was a hero, because of Natalie was not the first to travel through time, spoke English, and wanted to go back. In the storm, that Sky Tower was the door between two worlds. Once you get through, no way back. And his mission was to investigate why the Sky Tower was out of control. There was a creature known as Rathalos guarding there. Almost impossible to kill. His weakness was only revealed when he breathes fire. At the same time, that was when it was at his strongest. After dawn, a group of people set off in a mighty team, waiting until it was time for the Tower of Heaven. It's already raining, also accompanied by thunder and lightning. There is a strong burning smell in the air. Suddenly, two teammates encountered a fire attack. A huge fire dragon falling from the sky in the distance. That horrible sense of oppression is suffocating. Rathalos. The Admiral opened the combat immediately, also joined by Natalie and Tony. Fight the invincible Rathalos together. But the dragon defense was far higher than their efforts. No harm has done to him. Suddenly, Rathalos breathed out a thick stream of fire at Natalie, causing an explosion blew Natalie off the cliff. The uncontrollable portal has just opened. Natalie fell in. After some flashes, Natalie returned to her own world. Soon she was found by her teammates. They were preparing to take her away. Unfortunately, Rathalos has got through and chased her. It bumped into a jet and destroyed it. He bit up the cockpit of the rescue plane. The armored vehicles quickly came to aid and opened fire immediately. Shot at the fire-bearing dragon, but they couldn't do any harm to Rathalos. The fire dragon wiped out more than half of the convoy with a single burst of flames. A tank was also destroyed. Natalie at this moment was arming herself. Two planes came to support. The fighter jet was destroyed by the giant dragon. Another large plane. The wings were ripped off directly by the giant dragon. A superhero landing. Then a roar, declaring one's invincible majesty. Facing the provocation of the dragon. At this moment, Natalie also had her own battle plan. She used the rope to jump onto the dragon, cut its wings with a knife. This also completely angered the dragon. Immediately charge up and prepare to launch the fire. And Natalie was waiting for this moment. She lit a flare, aimed at the right moment, and launched into the mouth of Rathalos. The dragon was muzzled with a gun. The flame poured into its body in the opposite direction. The fire dragon choked to death like this. Everything seemed to be over. Unexpectedly, the dragon stood up again, ready to swallow Alice in one gulp. A life and death situation. An explosive hurricane. It turned out that Tony has joined the battle. Several rounds of rockets finally defeat the invincible Rathalos. The two shook hands and thanked for saving each other again. The big man also came out. He also told them, portals of Tianta is becoming more and more uncontrollable. More unknown creatures will be sent here. Alice was also reincarnated as a monster hunter. A black cloud floated in the distance. A bigger and stronger fire-bearing dragon crossed over. The Gormogala. They were all ready.